What's up, guys? It is Chris back for Watch Chris. I do have a Rolex shirt on today. I still do not own a Rolex. However, I do own a Rolex shirt that I wear from time to time. But today, we're not talking about my shirt. We're actually talking about a Chinese watchmaker by the name of Atelier Wen. Their dials are hand guilloched in China by one artisan. This watch probably has one of the best bracelets that I have seen on any watch. Not integrated bracelet, not a dive watch. It has some of the best features that I have seen on any watch that I have ever featured here on my channel. It's pretty incredible. So let's take a look at the Perception from Atelier Wen. When you're talking about brands that offer a hand guilloche dial, you're usually talking about very expensive watches. Brands like RGM, Breguet, there are a bunch of brands who make dials like this. However, they have one thing in common. They are very, very expensive, in the tens of thousands of dollars, because it takes a lot of time to make a dial like this. In fact, this specific dial, takes 8 hours to make on a Rose engine. One person makes the dials for this brand, and he only makes dials. That's all he does, and it takes him 8 hours to make each dial. That's pretty impressive, and especially considering the price. Now, the dial is extremely impressive on this watch. You have sort of a layered dial. You have an outer portion, which is a minute track. There's a little design on there. There are indices that cross over that minute track, and they are sort of split in two, and they slide down towards the center of the dial. That pattern radiates out from the center. It is gorgeous, and obviously up close, it looks very clean. They do a really good job on these dials, again, considering the price. But one of my favorite things about this watch, when I first got it, I was immediately impressed with the bracelet. The bracelet on here is phenomenal. Now, the design is very nice. It kind of reminds me of a 222 a little bit. You have beveled edges. I think that's new for this specific model because they did upgrade the model in general. However, it is the buckle. The buckle hides a lot of little details that are amazing. First off, it is signed. That logo is beautifully finished. It's very smooth. There's no rough points. It's beautifully finished. You have a polished edge on the buckle, but that's not what's impressive. What's impressive is when you press the two buttons right here, it pops open, and you can see it looks pretty short, but it's not. Look at that. Now, that actually slides out. It's very smooth, and it feels really well made. And you're able to put this on your hand and over your hand onto your wrist very easily. Now, I've owned watches, and I could name some big brands, even Omega. They have clasps that were smaller at one point. I actually owned a Planet Ocean, and it was always hard for me to get it over my hands because my hands are large. I have a 7.5-inch wrist. Maybe it doesn't match my wrist, but my hands are pretty large, and I wasn't able to get that watch on easily. This watch solves that problem. So you actually get a on-the-fly micro adjust built into this clasp as well. Plus you get this extra little portion that slides out. So getting this to fit your wrist is going to be very easy. And here, this logo isn't just a logo, it is a button. And when you press that button, all you do is press that button and it slides in and out. Look how smooth that is. Really smooth, not rough at all, clicks in. That is really, really nice. One of the nicest bracelets that I have ever seen on a integrated bracelet watch, really almost any watch, if I'm really honest. Moser makes something very similar to this on a watch that costs way more than this watch. And then you get this dial. You have sort of a pagoda style case. The case is 39.5 millimeters. That's from the outer portion here next to the crown to the left side here. It's basically a 39.5 millimeter watch. At the bezel, it's 37 millimeters, or just about. You have a 9 millimeter thickness. You have an automatic movement inside. The movement inside this watch is a Peacock SL 1588. Peacock actually make very high grade movements, and they've been doing some pretty cool things with central tourbillons and things like that. This is actually a pretty reliable movement, and it is actually impressive. It's pretty good looking. Unfortunately, they do cover the case back. There is a lion on the case back. You do get to see portions of the movement, and the rotor, of course, but not a lot of it. Maybe it would be nice if they opened up the entire case back and show off that movement. It's actually a good looking movement. Peacock in general do a really good job. I am very familiar with their watches, and their movements, and I think they are pretty nice. This gets a pretty nice movement. This gets a screwed in crown, 100 meters of water resistance. So this is a true sports watch that you could wear every day. The lug to lug on here is on the larger side. That's because you do have male end link, so the bracelet does not fold down. You do get a strap with it, and I believe it does interact pretty similar to the way that the bracelet does. So you're getting around a 50 millimeters or 51 millimeter lug to lug, and then of course, on the strap, I think it's around the same number. However, at the case, it is around 47 millimeters. On my 7.5 inch wrist, it doesn't make a difference. The dial color here is a copper dial. That's what I would call it. I believe they call it a salmon dial. It's metallic looking. I wouldn't call it salmon in my opinion. It looks more copper. But that's just to my eye. The dial does change color a little bit when you move it around. You can see when I move it around in the light, in certain areas it'll darken and lighten. It's hand turned on a Rose engine the old fashioned way. So this is not pressed. This is a handmade dial. Very impressive. It is a Chinese made watch. That's why you're getting a peacock movement. That artisan is in China. The goal here for Atelier Wen was to make a watch that was basically a $10,000 watch at an affordable price. But really this would be around a $15,000 or $20,000 watch if it came from one of those other brands that I was mentioning before, like Breguet or RGM, maybe even more money if it was a Breguet. RGM would be in that price range around $15,000, I would say. But you're getting a lot for your money here, and the bracelet on this watch is better than any bracelet that I have seen from those brands, and a lot of integrated bracelet watches out there do not have a bracelet that even come close to this, including some of the bracelets that I have recently reviewed on here. I really do think this is a pretty incredible bracelet. Screwed in crown is around 6 millimeters. It's signed with their logo. The case back, as I mentioned, you do get to see part of the movement. However, it is covered. There is artwork on here, and it is, I believe, pressed into the case back. Really nicely made. It looks great. And the buckle is signed. It's basically double signed because you do have that logo, and then that area, that scissor that sort of slides out, that's also signed with the logo, or actually the brand name, which looks really good. On my wrist today, I have my Hydro Conquest GMT, another really great watch with some really great micro adjust in its bracelet as well. I really love this watch. I've been wearing a lot lately. It's a great travel watch, great vacation watch, just a good looking watch all around. And there is the Perception on my 7.5 inch wrist. This is called the Perception. That's the name of the model. They've upgraded this or made some changes to the previous version. It's really more of an evolution from the previous version. You're getting some beveled edges on the bracelet, which is a little bit different from the previous version. Also, they've changed the lugs slightly. However, unless you own the previous version, you really wouldn't know the difference. All in all, this is a very premium watch that feels very premium on wrist. I have a 7.5 inch wrist, and like I said, this is a 39.5 millimeter watch. Look how thin it wears on my wrist, 9 millimeters thick. It is a very thin watch. Price on this watch is $3,288. That is the US price, so I think that's actually a very good price. I know these were a little bit more affordable in the past, but they have put a lot of work into the bracelet on this watch. They've made some updates to it. I think that $3,000 and change price tag is definitely worth it if you want a premium integrated bracelet watch with a handmade hand guilloche dial. I think this actually works really well. Plus you get 100 meters of water resistance, and you also get lume on the dial. I believe the hands are lume. I'm not sure if any other elements are lumed. We will do a lume shot in just a second. The case back is a Stone Guard Lion. So that I do want to mention because, again, it ties in with the brand heritage, the Chinese heritage. So they're actually very proud of that. This is pretty much the best that Chinese watchmaking can offer currently, or near the best at least. They've put a lot of thought and effort into this watch, and it definitely, you could see that. There you go, lume. Very liberally applied to the hands. And then, of course, you have that minute track. That is also lumed, which looks really good, especially in the dark because you have that pattern. It's not just a traditional minute track. It looks really good in the dark. The only thing I would say is that the second hand is not lumed. I'd like a little bit of lume on the second hand so that I could see that it's working in the dark. I say that with any watch that is not lumed, but there you go. If this didn't have lume, obviously that would be a big problem. This does have lume. This is a true sports watch. So you get 100 meters of water resistance. You also get a rubber strap with it, and you get that bracelet, which is extremely adjustable. So there is a lot that goes into this watch, and it is very, very versatile. The movement is also regulated in 5 positions, so that is also really good, and it's also very accurate. So lots going into it. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of the idea of a high-end Chinese watch? There is a lot of those coming out on the market, and I'm going to be featuring some of them here on my channel. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. Super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. I'll throw a link down in the description below to the brand's website, so definitely check them out. Thanks, guys, for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.